Imagine an AI that remembers everything. OpenAI just made this real. Meet Dreaming version 3.
Imagine, just for a second, a mind that literally never forgets. I mean, an intelligence that remembers every single conversation you have ever had with it. It remembers your subtle preferences, your long-term goals, and, yep, even your past mistakes. And it uses all of that context every single time you speak to it. Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're looking at something that feels like it's pulled straight out of a sci-fi thriller, but it is happening right now. We are talking about ChatGPT's new brain, a system that's actively learning to know you better than your best friend. What if AI remembered everything? I really want you to imagine the reality of that scenario, because the days of having a completely blank slate every time you log on, they're over. OpenAI just made this permanent memory a reality for millions of Americans this week with an update they're calling Dreaming V3. It is a massive leap forward, and it completely changes the way we interact with artificial intelligence. But to truly understand why this is such an explosive update, we've got to look back at the glaring issue that's been haunting AI up until this very moment.
Section 1. AI's biggest flaw, the amnesia problem.
For all the incredible things AI has been able to do over the last couple of years, it's suffered from one massive, foundational flaw. Think about how annoying it is when you meet someone, tell them all about your life, your job, what you care about, and the next day, they just look at you with a blank stare. You have to start all over again. That has been the exact experience of using AI. Think about the old ChatGPT. You know the drill. Every single chat starts from zero, it forgets you instantly, you sit down and you find yourself typing out the exact same context over and over. Act as a marketing manager, or remember that I'm writing a sci-fi novel. You have to explain your job, your tone, and your goals every single time you open a new window. It's an incredibly frustrating, repetitive loop. The tension of dealing with that amnesia was honestly the biggest bottleneck in AI productivity. But Dreaming V3 changes everything because it actually remembers your life. All of that frustration, that constant need to reintroduce yourself to a machine, it ends right now. Because OpenAI just officially launched Dreaming V3, and the shift in capabilities here is absolutely monumental. We are moving from a static tool to a dynamic, evolving partner.
Section 2. The Dreaming V3 Reveal. No more starting over.
So how does this actually work? Well, this new system operates entirely in the background. It automatically pulls and stores facts about you as you naturally converse with it. You don't have to sit down and program it with a list of facts. Through your everyday workflow, it's picking up your name, the specifics of your job, the context of your past projects, and the nuances of how you operate. It's building a profile of who you are constantly without you lifting a finger. Let's rapidly hit the key features making this possible. First, it remembers everything relevant to your tasks. Second, it learns your style, meaning it doesn't just know what you do, it knows how you do it. And third, it gets smarter the more you use it. This creates a massive compounding effect. The ChatGPT you use on day 1 of this update will be vastly less capable than the deeply personalized one you'll be interacting with on day 100. It's an AI that actually scales with your life.
Section 3. Inside the memory dashboard, a deep dive.
Now, it's one thing to talk about an AI having a memory, but it's another to actually see where that memory lives. OpenAI hasn't made this some invisible, mysterious process. They've given you a tangible way to interact with the AI's brain. Here is the structured journey you can take right now. Step 1. Open your ChatGPT interface. Step 2. Navigate directly to your memory settings. When you open this panel, you aren't just going to see a couple of toggles. You are going to see a list of hundreds of specific facts the AI has stored about you over time. Things it deemed important enough to remember. And that brings us to step 3, commanding personalized tasks. Because the AI has this massive database of your context, you can simply ask it to do something and it will automatically draw upon those stored facts to execute the task perfectly, without you needing to provide any backstory.
Listen to this. One user noted that the AI nailed an email perfectly on the very first try. Why? Because the AI remembered their specific writing style from a completely different conversation 3 weeks prior. It remembered the user's project deadlines. It even remembered a highly specific preference, that this user prefers bullet points over long paragraphs. When you experience that level of recall, it just clicks. This is no longer a generic chatbot. This is a personal AI assistant that actually knows you. The use cases for this are practically endless. We're talking about highly tailored emails that sound exactly like your inner voice, business planning that automatically factors in your company's past quarters, studying that actively adapts to the concepts you struggled with last week, fitness goals that remember your past injuries, even your daily decisions. Because of this persistent memory, ChatGPT is weaving itself into the very fabric of how you operate on a daily basis.
Section 4. The 500 million user question. The bigger picture. I want us to take a breath and slow down for just a second here. Because while the personal productivity gains are incredibly exciting, we have to look at the macro impact. What happens when a technology like this isn't just in the hands of a few tech enthusiasts, but deployed on a global scale? 500 million, 500 million people, that is the current estimated user base of ChatGPT. Now hold that number in your head and imagine all of them, 500 million people, suddenly having a personal AI that knows them completely. Their hopes, their flaws, their health data, their business secrets. The sheer scale of this update is staggering. We aren't just talking about a cool new feature, we are talking about a fundamental shift in global data interaction.
The crucial point is that we are witnessing the birth of true personal AI. This is the definitive end of generic, one-size-fits-all AI responses. And it is the beginning of a system that deeply, intimately understands an individual user's data. It's a total paradigm shift. The machine is no longer just a tool you use. It is a reflection of the person using it.
But a shift of this magnitude brings some heavyweight with it. Think about it. If AI knows everything about you, who else does? When you have a dashboard containing hundreds or thousands of deeply personal facts about your life, your psychology, and your business, where is that going? How is it secured? The privacy implications here are absolutely monumental. As we embrace the convenience of an AI that never forgets, we have to grapple with the reality of building a digital mirror of our own minds, stored on a server. I really want you to let the weight of that sink in.
Regardless of where you stand on the privacy debate, one thing is absolutely undeniable. This is the biggest upgrade in ChatGPT history. The transition from an amnesic chatbot to this deeply personal dreaming V3 assistant changes the trajectory of how humans and computers interact forever. The genie is out of the bottle, and trust me, it remembers exactly who let it out.
Which leaves us with one final lingering question to wrap up this explainer. Does this excite you or does it scare you? Are you totally thrilled by the prospect of an ultimate digital assistant that anticipates your every single need? Or are you wary of a machine that knows you better than your best friend? Really think about it. Thanks for joining me on this deep dive and keep your eyes open out there. The future is remembering everything.